Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brennan again, and for those of you who have a keen ear, and most of you guys do, which is really funny because anytime I start one of these videos, you guys are always able to pick up on the music, so let's see if you guys can get this. So, for those of you that probably could guess that is Jane's Addiction, and I always listen to this Sirius XM in my car, and I love, for some reason, recently, the Lithium Station. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, you saw me post that picture of the Alice in Chains Unplugged CD the other day, and I don't know what it is, but just bringing me back to my 90s roots. I don't know if it's because I've been spending a lot more time in Seattle for work or what, but really enjoying the station. And now that we shared that personal note, I should probably change it up to something that'll amp me up a little bit better for the gym. As you guys probably know, I'm right outside. Today is going to be a chest day. However, it's not competition style chest, which means we're gonna do some wide grip, some close grip. I'm probably gonna grab the top sets for today only because I'm running a little short on time, and I probably shouldn't even be doing this. And if you haven't noticed, I don't think I've even taken a breath since I started to film. So we're gonna get in, get out, got some other stuff to do today. I believe my fiance, didn't even mess up that time, is bringing me lunch. We'll see how that goes. If she does, I'll try to throw it on camera, but no promises there. And in the meantime, let's get to that lifting. All right, so as I mentioned, you're just gonna see the top sets here, and the goal today was to work up to a heavy set of 6 of wide grip paused bench. Now the problem is I was using a different rack, and just see if you can point out where the issues start. So if you haven't been able to tell, these racks are not wide enough for my long, lanky ass arms, and this looks awful. So I did a couple reps here, and then what I thought to myself is, instead of just ruining it and I didn't really have the option to go anywhere else, forget it, I'm just going to go ahead and take those off and just bust out a couple more. Now for these last ones, I just did touch and go, only because without any safety spotter arms there, didn't really want to risk it or risk pinching myself, and didn't really feel like asking for a spot, so that was kind of ruined in my opinion. Now from there we moved on to 5 sets of 245 for 8 reps each. Now this is close grip, just done for speed. So you're seeing the first set here, and this is a pretty tough weight for me considering the amount of volume you're doing, again with 5 sets of 8 reps, but this is really good because I really feel these in my triceps. From there we moved on to flat dumbbell flies, and again just slowly increasing the weight here on this accessory work. So last week I did 42.5 pounds, this week I did 45. It called for 5 sets of 10 reps, and you're seeing the first set here I kept the weight static because this is what I like to do for my accessory work. So the next exercise you're going to see after this is 2-hand tricep extensions done on an incline, and I'm doing this because, as you know, I've really disliked the 1-arm dumbbell tricep extension, so I told Dan I'm going to switch things up, and this is probably one of my favorite tricep exercises, and you don't see a ton of people doing this. Now for this, I suggest sitting on your foot like I'm showing you here, and the reason you want to is to make sure you get clearance on the incline bench you use. That way you can get a very good full range of motion, go all the way down, and really get a good extension in your triceps. And if you haven't tried this, I highly recommend this. Besides those incline dumbbell rows that I use, this is probably one of my other favorite exercises that, again, I don't see a lot of people do. And for this, we did 4 sets of 10 reps. Again, just adding a lot of volume to this, and I kept the weight static the whole time. Moving on to more tricep work after this, we then have to work up to a heavy set of 10 on tricep press downs, and each week I've been doing this. I've actually been using a little bit of a different attachment. You're seeing my first working set here, 80 pounds for 10 reps. I then went on to 90 pounds, then 100. I don't really get caught up too much in the weight here, just go for feeling, and I got a really good contraction here in my triceps, which is, I guess, more in line with bodybuilding, but then again, ain't nothing but a peanut, as the shirt says. All right, as promised, sandwich time. So this is a chicken pickpocket, it's called, from a local place around here. Let's see if I can get you guys in on this a little bit. So you can probably see in there, it is chicken. There's also some eggplant as well. I have about a cup of blueberries there, then a glass of chocolate milk. It also comes with some balsamic that I'll probably put on, but this is a quick, easy meal again, post-workout. Not that it really matters. It's actually technically 31 minutes after I trained. I specifically waited for 31 minutes just to prove you don't go catabolic, so you're welcome in advance. All right, so I'm here about to have a snack, and this is some really poor planning on my part, but I thought I'd share my fail with you. So I have some of this cooked 85% lean ground beef you guys saw from the other day. I also have some of these flatbreads you saw, as well as some sauteed onions. Now I have 4 ounces of the ground beef. The problem is this flatbread is definitely not gonna cut it. There's no way for me to really wrap this and make this work without everything just falling out. It's just not big enough. That's what she said. So I'm probably just gonna grab a fork and eat this, and I'll be putting some Sweet Baby Ray's on it. I don't really care if it's a wrap or not. It's all the same. Gonna end up in the same spot. Gonna be them beef gains, which are some of the best gains out there. All right, so what you guys are seeing here, it's, I wanna say probably about 6 or 7 ounces of ground turkey, probably about a cup of basil quinoa. Again, you saw this in the grocery store pickups the other day. And then just some sliced mushrooms as well. And then it looks like we have little Howard over here visiting us. Let's see if we can get him in here. Howard? Mako? You want this? Psych. All right, so that's what we're having for dinner. And then maybe we'll come back and show you what I have later. And we'll call this video quits. So I can tell you guys to stay big. You guys get on my ass about that quite a bit if I don't mention it. I try my best. But with some of these vlogs, one of the problem is the fact that I don't know which clips I'm gonna add and which clips I'm gonna cut it at. So I don't necessarily wanna say it at every single clip, but maybe we'll do that in the next one. We will see. No promises. Until then, we'll talk to you. All right, so I lied and I didn't actually show you my snack. It's actually the next day, almost a full 24 hours after the last video I made. However, I picked up some new stuff and I wanted to show you guys it, and I don't really have any of the lighting set up in the room. I just have the normal lights from the overhead as well as in the back, and I'm using the LED light on top of this camera, which is why I look really, really white. I'm probably greasy as fuck, but I picked up some new things for the channel, so I want to go ahead and show you guys what I got. However, we're gonna have to do a little bit of an unboxing. So as you can see here, we have a couple of boxes on my bed, which is the start of a very bad adult movie, or maybe a very good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox some of these because some of the things that I'm gonna be using are actually channel related, and that's gonna annoy me the way that that's not tucked in the right way, but that's my OCD checking in. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox some of this. We'll come back in just a second. All right, so step one, we're back. The lighting probably should be a little bit better. Now, it's probably gonna take me some time to play around with this, but what you can see is if I swing you around here, we now have these big old light boxes in place. There's one over there, and there is one over there as well. So I'm gonna play around with these. It's probably gonna beat my ghetto solution that I had earlier. If you guys remember from the video the other week ago, now right now everything is really white on my face, so I'm gonna play around with the positioning, the sizing, if only we were so lucky in real life, and try to figure out the best possible solution. But that was one of the first packages I opened, so as you can probably see, we still have several more down there to open. There's 2 more left. There's also some other stuff coming in later in the week that I'll keep you guys abridged on, but let's get to this next one. Now, before I go any further, I should point out this thing on my left wrist, which you guys can probably see. If you follow me on Instagram, you're already aware of what this is, but you guys know from previous videos I've been dealing with some tendonitis in my left wrist. As part of that, I went to go see the doctor today. They gave me this soft cast. It restricts motion just a little bit. He really said it wasn't going to break the bank, but I also have some exercises which I'll be doing along with that, and I'll share those with you as well. But I figure I should point this out just so you're aware. Not that you wouldn't have noticed this weird funky ass thing on my wrist anyways. So the next package on here, is going to open it up. Just using my keys here because I don't have a knife handy. But when we open this, what we have here is one of these nice little peanuts. Now, I probably could have made this, and I very well could have, just using 2 lacrosse balls and some duct tape. I think Matt Ogus has a video on how to do this, but this was fairly cheap, and I figured I might as well just go ahead and buy it. So this is what I'll be using to help actually stretch out, especially my shoulders, my scapular region, to see if this helps kind of in line with this wrist thing. Because again, what I've mentioned is I think this is a result of me having poor flexibility and mobility in my left shoulder. Because of that, when I low bar squat, it causes me to compensate by really cranking my wrist back, which again has caused tendonitis. So gonna try using this and see if I can help improve my left shoulder mobility with this little bad boy. And speaking of that, brings us on to this next package, which is very long. You guys admiring this package? But it's one of those kind of love-hate things with Amazon, with the fact that they're really good about getting stuff out to you quick, especially if you have Amazon Prime, but in some circumstances they're really bad about packaging, because this thing is really big, as you can tell, and it probably doesn't need to be. Not to mention, they likely could have thrown in that peanut or other stuff that they shipped directly to me all in one package to save space. So there's not going to be a ton in here, but kind of in line with what we just discussed, we have good old-fashioned BBC. So I just picked up a foam roller. Now this isn't anything fancy like the Rumble roller or anything like that. Just a solid black one for a relatively decent price. And of course I'm showing this to you on my bed. Again, Myron, look at that girth. I know you're impressed. So, I know a lot of you guys have made jokes in the past already about this setup I have going on here in my bedroom. Now that we have the lighting, we have the microphone, we obviously have the camera, we got that BBC as well. Let's really be honest, if this YouTube thing doesn't pan out for me, I got that leather couch downstairs. We could go down a whole new avenue, if you know what I'm saying. So, as always, appreciate you guys watching, and in the meantime, stay big.